Hello, my name is Michael Phelan, and today I would like to talk to you about net neutrality and why is it essential that we keep it. Net neutrality is defined, according to Google, of the principle that internet service providers should enable access to all content applications regardless of their source, and without favoring or blocking any particular products or websites, which just means that internet providers like Comcast and Centrelink can't mess with internet traffic at all. And in this speech, I will show you all the ways that this rule is important for a healthy internet. My first point is that lets everyone have an equal playing field where everything is treated equally. For example, a web page made by a multi-million-dollar company will load at the same speed as a web page created by a startup company that hardly has a few $1,000s to their name. This amazing ability protects innovation by letting anyone be able to access and create their own website and immediately be able to compete with somewhat bigger companies. Which leads me to my next point, that if there were no net neutrality, there would be less competition, which leads to rising prices and more restrictions and an overall worse experience for the consumer. And without an equal playing field, a newcomer will almost always fail. Another reason is internet companies slowing down speeds to other internet companies would slow down speeds to other streaming platforms and speeding up theirs, making it almost impossible to use your preferred site if you don't have the right internet provider. This leads me to my next point, that if companies want to compete in this new internet, they have to pay for a faster connection to their site, which would raise the price of many monthly subscriptions and substantially, and would make many websites that were previously free suddenly have a paywall attached to them. Having to put paywalls behind your website is not good for the creator either, for it will most likely significantly reduce the traction to the website. This would be a major turn off for a lot of content creators, and if the repeal were to take place, we would most likely see a significant drop in the amount of new content on the web, which would be a shame, for the internet is a place of freedom of expression, where anyone can make their voice heard without censorship. Net neutrality, I would argue, also makes the internet a safer place for if there are any illegal activities going on, they can be quickly identified and taken down. My last point I will make in favor of net neutrality is that if free internet access in public places will no longer be a reality. The price of internet will likely rise, and therefore less public places will be willing to provide internet access, and so they would internet companies would most likely start targeting higher income areas, leading to a less connected world. Now, before I go, I'd like to point out something that might change for the better without net neutrality holding it back. Internet infrastructure would most likely improve significantly. While this is a good thing, it would cost more to use. And another good thing is that people who use the internet more would be charged at a more accurate amount, and people who hardly use it at all would be charged less. I'd like to conclude this speech and wrap up my points. As you can see, the internet would be a very different place if net neutrality weren't holding it back, were taken away. While this change certainly would not happen overnight, it would happen very gradually. And while net neutrality's repeal would benefit some, it would hamper the experience for the majority of people, perhaps maybe even ruining the most important advancement in the history of our civilization. Thank you. I'm Michael Phelan.